But before I get into those questions, because I do have questions regarding that, I kind of want to go back to the absolutely amazing cast of characters, and by them the actors, the voice actors that portray those characters are some of the best I've heard in radio dramas, which is I think what draws people in, especially Jim Gleason as Michael. Uh, how did you find these guys? How was your casting process?
It was so much luck, I cannot even tell you. It was I've done many casting sessions before for a lot of student films, short films. Even my senior thesis, I did not get the kind of response that we got for the very first episode of We're Alive. The amount of people that came out and read was just huge. I was so amazed at the response that we got. And we were very fortunate to get some of the best core actors in the very first casting session. Like, um, even though they came in later in the scripts, we got excuse me, Tammy Klein. She was from the first casting session. Jay Olegario, who plays Datu, was first in casting session. Obviously, the characters in the first episode were as well, but all these different characters that you see later on were they all came in the first call, except for one person,
Who was that?
who Pegs. She actually did not come to the first casting session. She had a gig at the time, so she sent hers in via file, her audition. But it was so perfect and it rang so true to the character of Pegs that we said, you know what, this is perfect. We got to get her. And the cast was found in one session. It was so much luck. I could not even tell you.
That's great. They all do an absolutely fantastic job, and they really breathe life into those characters. And I think that's what sets it apart from other radio drama series is that the acting is absolutely superb. Um, and so with all now, because I think that everyone listening at home will agree with me on that. So is there anyone like are we going to see new characters like new great voice actors coming in to season two?
Yes. I will tease and say you've heard one before. That's all I will say. To what extent you might have heard them, whether they were in the background, foreground, may have been somebody big. Uh, Somebody may be returning, but we also might be having some new additions here or there because we did lose a couple cast members
True.
towards the end there. I can't say that you'll ever hear from them again. You may hear from them again because with our story, it's very much like it's a written account. It's a journal of what happens. You might find information later on that will take you back to an event to fill in the blanks. Like they might find something that was written down or something. It's very much an like a kind of an oral telling of the events that followed.
Okay. I think that's a good answer, but I also I do want to touch quickly on the We're Alive season one the CD set coming out. Can you what can you tell us about that? Like, what are you guys offering on that?
The CD set that was a much bigger undertaking than we originally imagined because I don't think we ever realized how long it was going to take us because we went through and remastered the entire series, which is over 12 hours of material, well, maybe a little bit less, but around 12 hours. And we had to go through and we had to listen to each chapter and edit it. We went through, I think, three different passes. So you can do the math there, plus also our quality control checks
Yeah.
of mixing it and everything else. Because we went through stages of, okay, well, now we're going to edit it. Now we're going to do some a little bit of re-recording here or there, add some sound effects here. Then we need some new music here, do that, go back, remix it. It was such a long process, but the big thing that is going to come out of it is we're going to have a CD set it's extremely well polished. The levels are all there. There's no chapter breaks. There's no credits in between to distract you. It's very much you get into the story and it just lets it flow. And we've also had a kind of a drawback is people have to have MP3 players to play the show right now.
Yeah.
This is an option like, oh, hey, my uncle would love this, but he doesn't even have a computer. Here you go. Here's the disc set for the first season. I hope you enjoy it. It's complete enough to where somebody can get in and involved and not really have to be, have that technology behind them.
And that's I think will open up your market quite a bit. So I guess we're kind of I know I've taken up a lot of your time here, so I just got to ask one more question, and this one is spoiler riddled for those of you who haven't listened to the show. you can just pause, like, skip through like the next few seconds. But season one, man, like the tower's inflamed. Saul's been shot. The Maulers are coming. There's a traitor. Like season two, like, can you give us any little bit on where it's gonna go? Just
Oh, I really wish I could. Let's just say we we know where it's going all the way up to the very end of the entire series. We actually have everything all mapped out. What I want to do is I want to write the ending down in an envelope, seal it, send it to myself, date it, and at the end of the series, open up, be like, okay, look, see, we had everything planned out, unlike other series that I know about. But
which we won't name
uh,
because they're on
well,
another network.
that's true. Anything I can give you, let's say that at the end of throughout the first season, the characters have all had one type of, arc or character motivation. In the second season, because of so much has happened towards the end there, a lot is going to change with the people that we're involved with. A lot of people, I think a lot of fans have sensed some sort of like splitting or disagreement between the people there. That might play out a little bit more. It kind of, uh, a lot more conflict between everybody because up to this point they've been very lucky. That luck might just run out for the next season.
Now, I my final question is: do you know how many seasons you're gonna go for, or are we gonna leave that open for later on?
We have it's gonna be either gonna be three or four.
3 or 4?
And the reason why is we don't know how long it's going to take us to get to the ending. We have everything mapped out, but like we've always discovered, some things take a little bit longer to get to. Some things happen really much quicker. It's weird how the pacing goes sometimes, and you don't want to like get way too ahead and be like, okay, well, we're only going to be 4 seasons, or we're only going to be 3 seasons, and be like, oh, okay, well, now what happened to these events? We're going to have to cut these out, and
Yeah,
it's kind of like we had to play it and see where it goes.
that's a fair enough answer, and I'm pretty sure like I was always kind of curious. Like you said, like some people are gonna possibly split. If there's gonna be like any bit of the like side characters taking off and then getting their own adventure, because you see that nowadays, the spin-offs. You know,
And it's very capable for us to do it. And that's been some of the talk of they're like people are like, oh, why don't you do a TV show in the world of what you're doing? And I'm like, well, that is a possibility. There are so many aspects of the story that could be told besides the characters that we see here in the world that we have. But there is a particular reason we are following these characters at this point in time. It's not a random sampling of characters. It's not something that we just said, okay, let's just follow these people for just and see what happens. There's a reason we're with this group. And I think that's a big, you know, spoiler for the entire series, but that's okay. I think people will follow us anyway.
oh, I would I guarantee that. So, all right. Well, thank you very much, Casey, for all your time, and from all of us here over at KZOM, thank you so much for creating such an awesome, absolutely addictive audio experience that hooked me from like the first like chapter to salivating for the next season. And for all of you guys at home, be sure to check out zombiepodcast.com. We're live is on iTunes and Zune. You can find them on Facebook, and friend them, fan them, and tell all your friends. So, so yeah, Casey, thank you very much. Looking forward to season two.
Thank you, Matt.
And for all you guys, we'll see you guys later on the Zurvivalist.